We really believe that crypto is the future of money, and that's already here. So it's not just a speculative asset class. People are now using it for all kinds of different types of utility. And we always believed that the industry would evolve in this kind of three pillars. We felt like it would start as an asset class. People would trade speculatively. Then it would become a new type of financial services with people doing stablecoin payments and commerce, remittance payments, earning yield on their assets, getting borrowing and lending with DeFi. And now, we're even starting to see this third pillar come online, which is crypto as a new type of application platform. This is what people are calling Web3. It's a new way for people to build applications in a totally decentralized way with decentralized identity, decentralized social networks, decentralized scientific research. And it's kind of the future of the internet. So it's much bigger than people, I think, realize, who are still thinking about it just as one asset class.
How's it going, YouTube? My name is Mike. This is Health and Wealth. Thanks for tuning in today for another episode on the channel. Before we really get started here, I just wanted to say thank you very much for the support over the weekend. Put out some banger videos there. I'll link them right here and right here so you can see them. And then at the end, I'm going to put them as end screen. So yeah, pretty good. 6,000 views for the one, 2,500 views for the other one yesterday. So enjoy those after this one. But today's video, I want to talk about CONY, C-O-N-Y. I've not made a dedicated video to CONY yet, so I think we are due for that today. For me, I was dipping my toe into CONY for the past 3 months now. Quite literally dipping my toe into the pond. I've gone ahead and bought 1 share, and then I've doubled that to 2, and I doubled that to 4. Well, today I've brought that all the way up to 30 shares. Now, you might be thinking, Mike, I have thousands of shares. Who cares, right? But this is my journey, and that's what I'm talking about here. This isn't financial advice. It's just documenting what I'm doing and what I hope to see in the future with my own personal account. So I've gone ahead and bumped it up to 30 shares of CONY. And the end goal, and you might think this is crazy, but the end goal is 180 shares of purchased shares from my money that I'm going to be spending on this. And so I want to explain that to you in just a bit. But I have currently 30, which is, much more than it was 2 months ago. And I'm looking to add more and more and more. Okay, so we'll talk about the plan. We'll talk about what I hope happens with that plan, the future. We're going to talk about how CONY and Coinbase are doing right now, all in this video. So stay tuned. Hit the like button for me. I'm trying to get at least 10% of you liking this video. And so I think we can make that happen all with a simple push of a button. So let's talk about those 30 shares. Let's talk about the plan and what we're going to do with it. So I have officially turned the drip on. The drip is on for CONY. And I normally don't do drip at all. Normally what I do is I reinvest or invest on the ex-dividend date. So for CONY and CONY only, I'm going to not reinvest on the ex-dividend date. I'm going to set it and I'm going to forget it. And you know what? I don't know if I can do this. I need you guys to help support me, but I'm going to try and forget it for the next 5 years. And what I want to do is see how high CONY can climb in my portfolio if I don't touch it. Now, the goal for me first is to get the share count of 30 to 180. Why that number? Well, CONY, and I'll share it with you right here, pays out usually an average of around $1 per share. Now, you can see last month here was $2.02. We have another payment coming out this week. But, $1, $10, $4, $1.57, $1.69. So, it's definitely above $1. Okay, so why 180 shares? Why is that number in my head? Well, let's take a look. CONY price right now, $16.90. But I mean, if we look at the aftermarket right now, $17.36. So what I've done is I've created a number in my head, and it was 180 shares. And let's just say at $18 a share. Okay, hypothetical number here. But if I had that on drip, then that would go ahead and purchase me 10 shares every single month. Now, that 10 shares hypothetically could go up, right? So as we accumulate more shares automatically by the DRIP, Dividend Reinvestment Program, although these are distributions, different than dividends. But by the drip, then that number should climb, every few months from 10 to 11 to 12, all the way up to, potentially buying 50 shares a month on its own without me having to reinvest any more money. Now, this is a 5-year plan for me. I want to set it and forget it, and I'm going to need some help mentally to do that. I think it's going to be a difficult task, to be honest with you, but I'm interested to see what happens. I am definitely interested to see what happens. But before we dive into this dividend calculator I've popped open here, I've also opened up Coinbase stock. Now, this is what it trades off. And here's maybe the real reason I'm actually more interested in buying into CONY. I'm a recent Bitcoin investor, no big deal, but at Christmas dinner, I'll definitely be bringing it up that I currently own 0.00004% of Bitcoin. And I'll definitely be letting people know how cool I am. But how did I buy that Bitcoin? Well, I bought it with the app Coinbase, and I couldn't believe how simple it was to use. This is part of the reason why I had never got into cryptocurrency before, Bitcoin before, was because it was just, talking of wallets and cold storage and all of this stuff, and it was just over my head. So I dove into it, and I bought $200 worth of Bitcoin, but I used Coinbase to do it, and it was fantastic. It was super simple to use. It feels secure. It does a face scan and all of the fingerprint scan and the ID scan, so it feels secure. That's for sure. But yeah, I really liked their app. I really liked how easy it was to use, and that is the reason that I'm now kind of diving deeper into CONY. And let me put this into perspective for you. It's not a major investment by any sorts, but it's kind of a fun game I want to play just with myself here, buying 180 shares, turning drip on, and letting it do its thing. So if we go back to CONY share price right here, let's just pretend it's $17.32 right now. I've highlighted that in blue, by the way. So if I have 180 shares and I have it on drip, it's going and it continues to pay at least $1. Then it should buy me at least 10 shares every single month. Now, we're going to notice that with the dividend calculator here, that number is going to climb and climb and climb as we go. And 5 years is just kind of a number I've put out there. Now, originally, and I'm still on this page here, but I'm trying to find 6 pillars of income that are going to pay me $500 a month, equaling $3,000 a month US, to help me quickly move towards retirement. So what could go wrong with this plan? Coinbase here could fall off the mountain, right? So currently share price is $310. It did go down almost 10% today. Do we see Coinbase falling off the mountain? Well, it could happen, right? We've seen it happen with other companies. What else could happen? Well, right now, if we look at CONY, its current distribution rate is 142%, which is absolutely crazy, mind-boggling, psychotic. That cannot be sustainable. But if we take a look at all of the other distributions in that dollar range, it's probably around that 70% range right now. And at the 70% distribution rate annually, then that could happen for me. This could happen. This could continue with the volatility to create the distributions that we're seeing here on the screen. Again, this is just hopes and dreams, mystical pie in the sky kind of fantasy world, right? But could it continue? I think it could. And so that's why I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. I'm going to put the 180 shares out there, and I'm going to let drip take it and see how far it goes. Now, you can see here also, $1 is kind of small balling it right now compared to all of their distributions. So far, they've paid more than $1 every single month. And so I want to kind of undersell this for myself a little bit. I want to say, in 5 years, I'm going to have this much, right? With that $1 per month. So yeah, Coinbase. Let's go. I saw one article here. It talked about the new price target for Coinbase, $420. That's huge, right? That is huge. That could go up massively. That is massive for sure. So, yeah, why not, right? Okay, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and put this dividend calculator together here. I actually went and examined like 3 or 4 different dividend calculators. You got to be careful with what you're looking at here. Sometimes they don't necessarily do a really good job of calculating future distributions. So what I've done is I've plugged in the current share price, $17.50. I put in what I want to have, which is 180 shares. Now that won't be today. That won't be next month. That's something I'm building towards. Okay, so right now I have 30. I'm hoping by this time next month I'll have 40, so on and so forth. So it's going to take a few months for me to get to the 180 shares, but follow along in my journey. Hit that subscribe button. By the way, I'm trying to get to new goal. Trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by this time next year. I think it's lofty. I think it's almost unattainable. But if we can make that happen, you guys, man, that would be so cool. Yeah, that would be really, really neat. Anyways, let's get back on track. 180 shares, holding period 5 years. I put the annual dividend yield of 70%, which is pretty close to what it's done so far in its time in existence. I put $0 annual contribution. Dividend reinvestment plan, yes. Now, just for that person who corrected me the other day, distribution reinvestment plan, that's what it should be. But guys, remember when you comment, don't be rude in your comments, okay? I won't put up with rudeness. I'm a nice guy, and I hope you're a nice guy or lady as well. Expected annual stock appreciation. I said $0. Keep the stock price, the ETF price, the same forever. Same with that dividend growth. Keep it 70% forever. Let's hope it doesn't go to like Apple, OARC, even what NVIDIA's doing right now, sinking down. It definitely could happen, right? Could happen. We could have a down market. We could have a crash. We could have all of this stuff. All the negative things in the world could interfere with this plan. But we're playing the game, right? Let's play the game. So it says up here, estimated dividend return, $41,575. And you can see down below here, it's a pretty simple little chart. In the first year, my average monthly income would be $183. Why? Well, because I have 183 shares. I've indicated on this chart here that I'm only going to get paid $1 per share per month, right? So $183. Now you'll notice the next month, next year, year 2, $312 is going to be my average. Year 3, $531 is going to be the average if everything stays the same. 3 years from now, 36 months away from now. $902 in year 4 is my average monthly, and that would be pretty sweet. And then all the way up here in year 5, 60 months from now, $1,534 would be the average monthly. Now, my overall goal is to get to $3,000 a month. And so if I had this sitting at $1,500 every single month, surely I can get my NVIDIA and my Misty and whatever else I buy in the next 5 years above that $1,500 a month, right? Surely I can make that happen. So what do you guys think about this plan? Do you think it'll be attainable? Do you think we can make it happen? I think we can, but this is just one example of investing. This is one example of all of the positives that can happen. But what we don't talk about often on YouTube is the negatives that can happen. And so I'm aware that stock price of Coinbase can dramatically drop in a crash. I'm aware that Bitcoin's rug can be pulled from underneath it and we can have a dramatic decrease. So I think it's important to understand when you invest with what you can invest. Invest with money that if you lose it, will it change your life? And so when we talk about money that can change your life, there's a lot of people that invest with margin. And for me, I get asked all the time, why don't you, take out a line of credit? Why don't you invest with margin? I'm risky, but I'm not that risky. And so if I took 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 out on a line of credit and I lost that, would I be upset? Yes, that would change my life for a negative, and I'm not interested in that. So for me, I'm going to slowly invest money that I earn to go ahead into these funds so that I can responsibly invest in the future. I owe it to my family, I owe it to myself to not risk that large sum of money. So that's how I feel about it. You know, that could change down the road when incomes change. I don't know if you guys knew, but I'm taking my real estate course. I am very close to finishing it. And if I get into real estate and I think I do what I think I can do in the sales world, you know, budgets can change. And if budgets change, then I'll invest more for sure. And I'll make sure I document that journey with you guys here on this channel. So tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you think about the strategy. I know a lot of you are ex-dividend investors, but I want to do one of these funds on the set it and forget it mindset. And I think this might be the one to do it. So again, current share price 17.50. Number of shares I want to get to 180, and then that's it. Back away. Let us invest in other ones like Misty, Nvidia. Who knows what else is out there? Alti, YieldMax, Alti. But YieldMax, you know, things like that. And then let this build itself over time, like the train rolling downhill on the tracks. Tell me how you feel about it. I'm not going to make this a long video. I just wanted to say this is Health and Wealth. My name is Mike. You are a loyal subscriber, and I want to make sure that you know that I appreciate that you've been here today. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.